joint sealing should last as long as the window, which is about 30 years. And so we have a couple of products here on the table, which we think are very suitable for North America because they are moisture adaptive. So you don't have to think about any water vapor pressure from the inside to the outside or outside to the inside. You just use a product which seals the full joint.
We have a window that needs to go into the rough opening.
Correct.
And so between the window and the wall we have a joint.
Correct.
And traditionally we perhaps use caulk or flashing tape.
Liquid sealant, for example, PU spray foam can be used as a standard product, but those products are normally not as durable as other solutions because they are not able to follow the movements of the window or the opening. So basically there's always contraction and expansion of the joint, and you need to use products which are able to follow those movements. And the idea is to use products which control the moisture, so any moisture being trapped in the joint should have the opportunity to dry out, may it be to the interior or exterior. So when we look at the different product samples here, we have, for example, a so-called multifunctional tape. You see the integrated concealed membranes, which are the airtight barriers and which also control the water management or the moisture management. So basically they function as barriers, and one side you have a higher water vapor pressure, so the membranes block the moisture from penetrating into the foam. And when you go more deeper into the joint and you might have some moisture trapped here, it will still be able to dry out to the drier side because of the water vapor pressure difference. So this is a patented technology not only in Europe but also North America. So these kind of multifunctional tapes have been sold for about 15 years. So they're proven to function, to work. And you see here how it's being installed. So basically it covers the complete joint of the window. It's cut, normally the dimension is a little bit more narrow than the profile itself to allow water to just flow down instead of getting into the foam, because it's an open cell foam, but it has an impregnation in the foam which makes it UV resistant. So it will not disappear over time, so it's completely dedicated for this kind of purpose. So you have one product to seal the complete joint. It might be more expensive as a material comparison to other materials which are being used today, but since you only have to install one product, bottom line, you should have even a saving because it's much quicker in terms of installation.
So what you're comparing this to is essentially this example where traditionally we have an external flashing tape, we have an internal flashing tape, and in the US, typically we have an expandable spray foam in here.
Exactly, a can spray foam which you would apply in the center to provide the thermal insulation. And for air tightness and driving rain tightness, you could use a moisture adaptive flashing tape, which is called, ours is called Duo Easy. So you have the same tape, flashing tape on the interior and exterior, so you don't have to think between two different products. And it will also adjust to the water vapor pressure like the multifunctional tape.
Okay.
But in this case, you would have to use three different products. You have to apply the flashing tape on one side, then you can either use the spray foam as it is being used right now, or we have also an alternative which is a thermally insulating foam, which can be used in the center for sound and thermal insulation, and then on the interior you would have to use another layer of the same product. So three products, it takes more time for the installation. More steps, there's a higher risk of something going wrong. So you're better off with this product. And last but not least, depending on the design, here you have PVC windows, so that all our products work with any kind of window, may it be wooden window, PVC, aluminum, so there's no difference as such. And in this case, on the exterior, you have something covering the window, so you have an additional joint. So you have the main joint under the window profile, and you have an additional joint on the exterior. So in this case, you could be using one of our exterior joint sealing tapes, which is, for example, called Hanno BG1. It offers UV resistance and driving rain tightness also over time, and so you have a perfect sealing of the joint in this design as well.
And in Germany. Is it right that expandable spray foam cannot be used in public buildings anymore?
Yes, because of VOC levels, so that has to be taken into consideration, that there is a movement away from PU spray foam towards compressed joint sealing tapes, and as said before, the Hanno Therm is a one-to-one replacement of your PU spray foam in case you want to continue using flashing tapes, for example.
So the window goes in, we have an external layer to the outside where the flashing tape ties in the frame to the weather-resistant barrier. We have the frame to the wall where we typically add spray foam. We may use some foam tape as we've seen here. And then we have the interior flashing tape, which connects the frame again with the wall to create a nice airtight seal. And this multifunctional expandable tape replaces all these three. So it is going to be installed faster, I would assume.
Yes.